Hey guys, this is James from Man Tripping. We are here on another Men Who Blog episode. This time's a special episode because it's a topic that I've been wanting to share and discuss for a while. Really, the importance of male confidence and kind of looking at the transitions of boys and men not really understanding what's expected of them today and still maintaining that strong masculine uh, feeling and experience, but maybe improving upon some of the bad tropes that have plagued our gender over the years. So I'm super excited to talk about this today. We are being sponsored by Bold View, who has an awesome new beard oil that I have not actually tried because I do not have a beard, but we've got some awesome guys. We've got Rick and Mike who have tried it, and they are going to be talking a little bit about it and how much they enjoyed it. But we have Rick from Rick on the Rocks, Sujeet from Guys Gab, Mike from The Gentleman Racer, Chad from Unfinished Man, and Zoltan from Bold View. So I'm going to let the guys kind of go around the hood a little bit, or around the horn, I guess, a little bit. But you guys already know me. I'm James from Man Tripping. We're a men's lifestyle site that really tries to elevate the conversation and adjust some of the preconceptions guys have about what it means to be a man. But that sounds actually off topic a little bit. But we like travel in cars and all sorts of fun stuff like that. But let's kick it over to Rick, and we'll kind of go around the horn and end up with Zoltan, who can tell us why he created the Bold View brand.
Hey, I'm Rick from Rick on the Rocks. Live in the South Florida area, Tampa Bay, and I run a lifestyle online magazine, is what I like to call it, because that's sort of how it reads. And we do a lot of travel, a lot of food. I love cooking. It's like kind of like my comfort thing that I like to do. And so yeah, forward to getting back into traveling. Looking forward to talking about this product. It's a great beard oil. So I guess we'll shoot it over to Sujeet. That way or that way?
Hey. So yeah, I'm Sujeet from Guys Gab, another men's lifestyle site. Been around since 2011. Our focus is really on automotive, travel, pre-quarantine, technology, food, grooming. So yeah, I think we have a lot of fun, and this is going to be a good conversation today.
Hey, I'm Chad from Unfinished Man. I've been running the site for around 10 years, men's lifestyle website. We cover everything from travel to cocktails. Sometimes I'll write about video games, and yeah, having a lot of fun with it. Looking forward to being able to get out into the world again soon as well, do some more traveling.
I'm Mike with gentlemanracer.com. We mostly do automotive content, but also touch into watches, cars, car travel, road trips, all that type of stuff. So yeah, just kind of general men's stuff. Site's been around since about 2002 in its original form, and in the current form in our print magazine for about the last 10 years. So it's been a lot of fun.
Hi, I'm Zoltan, and I'm a big believer in the way you portray yourself is the way you feel. So I started my brand Bold View to help men bring out their most confident selves, and I'm excited to speak with everyone today.
Fantastic. So really excited about that. And then Zoltan, I know where can you buy Bold View?
Yeah, we're currently selling on Amazon. We just launched a couple weeks ago. So just head on over to the link at the bottom. Get yourself a bottle.
Cool. And then if you want to learn a little bit more about, we're going to be sharing blog posts on our sites in the next couple of days. The Men Who Blog post is up today, kind of talking about some of the Men Who Blog perspective on male confidence and why it's really important, and how proper grooming can help not just make you feel good, but make you really assert yourself in a positive way for being a man and being a leader in society. So I'll be posting a similar post on Man Tripping tomorrow. And make sure to visit everybody's site as well over the next few days. So with that being said, Mike and Rick, I know we talked a little bit about the fact that you guys have tried it. And Rick, you actually had an interesting experience in the bar you work at, where one of the women noticed it immediately how good it smelled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she because I don't wear cologne, and she was like, "Wow, you smell so good. What is that?" Asking me what brand of cologne, more or less, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't wear cologne." I was like, "Oh," and went off in my brain. I was like, oh, I'm using this new beard oil. I was like, it's actually got sandalwood in it. She's like, oh my gosh, it smells so clean. That smells great. So yeah, I was just like, I hadn't had a compliment like that in over 20 years, because that's how long it's been since I wore cologne. So yeah, it's great, and it's really good for my skin too.
So I imagine, as a guy who is recently getting back in the dating and socializing scene, that certainly helped your confidence of feeling better.
No, well, you know what? Everybody loves a nice compliment like that. Absolutely, that did a lot. That literally kind of made my day, to be honest with you. It made me feel real good about myself. So yeah.
So Mike, how about you? Has Jennifer made some nice comments, or any of your client meetings?
Yeah, she loves the smell. I mean, that was the main thing I noticed, is how clean it is. It's not an overwhelming scent. It's just a nice, clean, kind of ever-present scent too. It doesn't really fade throughout the day too. It kind of stays around the same level throughout the whole day. It feels really good when you're putting it on. It's a really nice quality product. I've used a lot of different beard oils, and I've been really impressed with just the overall quality and just the way it goes on, the way it conditions your skin. And after a few days of use, you'll feel a big difference in just your skin, and your actual beard hair feels softer and a little more moisturized. And it actually lays a little bit easier and makes it a lot easier to keep it looking somewhat kempt. It's hard with the beards once they start getting fuzzy, but this helps keep it all in line. And yeah, it's been really great. I've been really impressed with it.
Awesome. Well, now we're going to kick it over to some of this kind of open discussion a little bit. And for those of you guys who are watching, and ladies who are watching this at home or wherever you're watching it, just a reminder, this is a public and open interactive show. So if you have any questions or want to ask any of the guys, anything about their experiences, feel free to comment wherever you're watching, whether that's on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook, and we will be able to bring it in for open discussion. So with that being said, we'll kick it off by, what was one piece of advice that you guys all wish that you had known when you were in your 20s that would have made you more confident as you grew up?
Ooh, good question.
I mean, I guess I'll jump in. I guess one of the main things is that, people do perceive your dress, how you dress, all those things really do send a big message. I mean, when you're going, whether it's a job interview or you're going for college admissions exams and things like that, people look at you and they do make judgments based on how well dressed or sloppy you're dressed or how well groomed you are. A lot of emphasis, I think, for when I was younger, was put on just like, just be comfortable, be casual, be yourself. Don't conform to society's requirements. And you don't have to like dress like a clone of everybody, but being presentable is a big thing that I think would have helped a lot of guys, and when I was younger, and would have helped me too. So I mean, it's just one of those kind of universal things. Everyone sees you in that first impression, so huge. So trim your beard, comb your hair, brush your teeth, kind of the usual stuff, and put on a clean T-shirt before you go outside.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that as well. I think one of the challenges is exactly what you described. Everyone says, "Oh, just be yourself." It's what's inside that matters, and that's true to an extent. But people like pretty people, and people like people who project themselves. Not to keep haranguing on confidence, but that is obviously the word of the day. But confidence can be more than just wearing an expensive Armani suit. If you're in a well put together outfit that matches and shows that you've had attention to, not just putting a green shirt with a black belt with I can't even do that fashion stuff myself. That's what my wife's for. But but if I just threw some stuff on and went to a job interview, the projection or dating situation or even just hanging out with the guys, I think that that projects an attitude that you really don't care. But if you have the confidence to know that you do care and to project that, then it's going to help. And I had a buddy who I thought he looked absolutely atrocious when I met up with him, and he told me he just had a job interview with Google or something like that. This guy was wearing green corduroys with a yellow penguin tie, and I'm like, you look absolutely ridiculous. But the point is that he had it all in a concise, construct that made sense. It showed that he was a confident guy that could think creatively, and it worked. And the guy is making more money than all of us combined at this point. So I think that's one thing that I agree about. I wish people had really reinforced when I was younger.
Yeah, because I mean, I remember my dad and my mom when I was younger saying, you need to take care of your skin, and you're going to thank yourself, and when you're older. And I think it was like in my late 30s that I finally like came up with like sort of like a daily regimen for my skin, because I did start having like dry skin problems, and I'd never had that before. And it's just like getting older and your body changes. And I found that like doing a really nice regiment, like right now I have like a 4-stage regiment that I do when I get out of the shower. It makes me feel good about myself when I'm doing it. It makes me feel, I don't know, like sort of like put together, I guess. And it makes me feel kind of calm and cool and collected. I think people see that, like you're that's going to come out, And like, yeah, you could be wearing a nice black T-shirt and some, stylish, nice pressed shorts and some matching shoes, and like be all put together, but you could still have a persona where you're like, but man, you've taken care of yourself earlier that morning. You're feeling really nice and put together. Your shoulders are going to be back. Your back's going to be straight. You're going to kind of have a persona of that confidence and how you feel about yourself inside. That it's gonna come out. People are going to see it. So that's it. I wish I'd listened to my parents earlier about that, like taking care of your skin and stuff, because that's the truth, man. This is it. This is what we got. So it's like, be nice to it. Buy real good products, natural products. That makes a difference. It makes a difference for everybody. It makes a difference for the earth. So yeah, this is a great product. I love this stuff. So
what about you, Chad?
I think that if I could have a conversation with my younger self, I would probably say that there's nothing wrong with feeling uncomfortable, and that's generally a signal of something you should be moving towards instead of away from. That made a big deal. That made a big improvement to my confidence over the years, exposing myself to more uncomfortable situations. And the second that I would start to feel that way, just sort of embracing it and barreling through, that would be the biggest one. And, obviously making an effort to stay well groomed and dress in a way that I think that expresses me instead of just kind of the default tossing on whatever. I really think that's between those two things, it had a huge impact on my life.
Yeah, learning how to fail is something that nobody really teaches you.
Absolutely.
I feel like, I hate to say kids these days, because now I feel like I'm like 75 years old, but I see it in my sister, for instance. She's only a little bit younger, but she does not understand how to fail. And she's so terrified of failing that she's not taking those risks, that she's not, to your point about, feeling comfortable. I look at feeling comfortable means you're trying something new, which means that probably other people haven't already beaten the path, down to a concrete, walkway. That's an opportunity for me to succeed.
Absolutely.
yeah, you should always utilize failure as a teaching tool. That's all it is. Don't feel bad about it. It happens to everybody.
Well, it's just data. I mean, as long as you're using that and actually improving and adapting from it, I think that's the most important thing. Like if you keep making the same mistakes over and over again, that's a different matter. But just treating it all as information, even the feelings, like emotion is just information.
Sure.
So I think for whether it's, being scared about a particular approach with somebody or some event that, you're stressed out about, it's all just information, and it's like you said, it's a valuable teaching tool too.
So what about you, Sujeet? You've been quiet, sitting up there in the corner.
Yeah, just taking it all in. I mean, I think we all here have a kind of a collective similarity in that we all kind of run our own businesses. We kind of went against the grain of, the corporate life. And that kind of comes back to what we're all talking about is, we're not afraid to take a risk and kind of go down the, unbeaten path. And that's kind of how I live my life in general. Is I don't really care what people think. I'm not beholden to, other people's thoughts and stuff. I try to present myself nicely, obviously, but I'm not going to worry myself about what other people think and live my life that way. So I'm confident in the way that I, do everything in my life really. And it's treated me well this far. So I'm just going to keep doing it.
Now, one of the things I think is a real challenge for especially younger guys that maybe are confused about where masculinity is heading right now is that there's a really thin line between being a confident guy and being a complete douchebag. And you know, and
Yeah.
I think growing up, I mean, there were certain things that I was taught, like, don't be a douchebag, don't be a bad guy, and looking around and seeing, like, the bad boys getting the girls and the girls being attracted to that. I think things have definitely changed in the last 20, 30 years a little bit, but at the same time, I think that when I talk to some women who are more honest, and not every woman is the same way, but I think there's a lot of women who miss that being desired and being chased, and having a guy that's confident enough to ask her out. But now that I hear boys, especially younger men, are afraid to ask somebody. And I think there's right ways and wrong ways, and I'm certainly not endorsing anybody being aggressive or rejecting a rejection. Is that a word? Rejecting a rejection, because there's certainly you need to be a good proper man. But what do you guys think about some of the changing roles and where confidence lies, and how to avoid being a douchebag and being overly confident?
Well, I think that the difference between somebody that's really confident and somebody who's a douchebag, like people that act like a douchebag, it's as if they feel that the world owes them. So everything that they want and desire is owed to them. And I think that that's really brittle, because the second that they don't get their way, they're going to have a meltdown. So I don't think that that's true confidence.
Yeah, that's bordering on narcissism.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that anyone who's, overtly overcompensating and being aggressive, and I mean, there's a difference between being assertive and being aggressive. There's a difference between being, a force in a room and being a dominant, domineering, braggart that's just annoying people. And I think that it is a hard balance, because especially today, you never know what might set somebody off. So a lot of people walk around on eggshells. But I think just knowing that you're coming from a good place yourself, that you're not coming from a place of either aggression, or you're coming from a place of your own internal piece of who you are. Confidence will come through. If you're constantly being I guess reminded that you're acting like a douchebag, you're probably just acting like a douchebag. So I would take that advice and kind of take that on yourself and go, maybe I need to do some little more self-reflection.
Well, I can honestly say, wait, where can I point? Sujeet truly does not care what people think about him, and it's real. But it's real. When I first met him, I was like, "Oh, okay. Is he an a-hole, or is he cool?" And going into meeting somebody for the first time, I think that's sort of the level that we gauge. It's like, are they an a-hole or are they cool? After a couple minutes, I was on the floor, and I just wanted to be around Sujeet all the time, because the way that he looked at life, because it was so refreshing. I liked being around him. Like, it was just like, there was no bull, there was no pretension, there's no curtains, there's no games. This is me. This is what I think. This is how I am. Like it or lump it.
Well, and I think some of that is endemic to what we all do. That by the nature of the fact that we ultimately make money by promoting other people and being a hype machine for different brands. We have to be that overly confident, like, hey, look at this cool thing. I'm really confident. This is the best controller ever. Well, that's kind of douchey, but it's kind of what the brands want. But I think that that's one reason why I really enjoy having you guys come together to work with brands who get it. I mean, when I talked to Zoltan, gosh, I don't know, it seems like it's been months ago, but probably only a few weeks. The COVID time dilation here. I was like, this guy really gets it. He's a young entrepreneur that knows what he wants and is as much focused on really building something that's bigger than a single product, and that's one of the reasons why I was really excited to work with him and bring you guys together there. So with that in mind, like Zoltan, you must have had some confidence to really say, hey, I'm going to invest some of my own money or someone else's money. I'm not really sure how you're funded, but into creating something, as opposed to just. I mean, there's a lot of guys who just go and buy, some random products on on AliExpress and run a few Facebook ads, and that's great until that gets saturated. But you're really focused on building a brand, and you have a mission that you're trying to promote. How did you get started in that, and what's really driving you?
Yeah, so for someone my age, someone who I haven't even reached my 20s yet. I'm still about half a year away.
Wow.
So people who are kind of Generation Z, young millennials, I think there's this false stigma around men's confidence. And my mission is basically to show that the way you portray yourself is the way that you feel about yourself, from things like what you guys said about taking care of your skin, the way you groom, the way you dress, even from small things like the way you make your bed in the morning, the way you clean your room. All these things that you do behind the scenes make yourself feel more of a confident person. And I think true confidence is about how you feel about yourself, not how you want other people to feel about you. And so I created Boldview because I knew that with the right grooming products, the right style fashion products, you can ultimately feel so good about yourself that you don't need. I'm thinking of the word. You don't need other people to tell you that you're good for you to feel that you're confident. And I think a lot of people my age feel this need to get compliments from other people in order to feel confident, which is something that does make you feel confident, but it's not. Ultimately, you need to feel confident yourself, and so I think that's what I'm trying to help guys achieve.
Well, and you mentioned getting compliments to feel good about yourself. I think that's one of the real challenges of Instagram right now. That and to their point, I think they're trying to fix it because they realize that they created an absolute monster. But this sense of like I go and see people who aren't even promoted posts, buying likes and stuff just because they're like they want to make other people look like they think that they look pretty. Like I really worry about that distorted sense of confidence where the next generation doesn't have that value of self-worth, that they only feel good if 500 people like it, even if those 500 people are actually bots from Russia.
Yeah, and I can attest to that because a lot of the people who I spent time with growing up in my high school, basically everyone had an Instagram, everyone had TikTok, everyone had these new social media platforms that people who are a generation older never had growing up. So there's just this false stigma of confidence. Everything's just changing based on these new things that are coming to life, like Instagram, for example, and people try to leverage those to feel more confident about themselves, when in reality that's not true confidence. I think it's what you feel about yourself that's true confidence, and not the amount of likes you get or the amount of followers you have.
Zoltan, you're literally my new favorite person. Like, seriously, dude, that's just so awesome.
Yeah,
That's
super
really
impressive.
awesome, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm just trying to get the message out there.
Cool.
Well, it's a great product. I think you've done
It
a
is.
great job at launching something that's not just got your own brand ethos and your own vision behind it, but also is just in itself a good product. And that's so important that you put out something that's not just got a message that you're trying to promote, but also is just a standalone, a great thing that people can actually benefit from using. So it's a big props for that too.
Do you mind?
Thank you. And I think,
do you mind if I ask you, how did you come up with this? What was it about the beard oil that went in your brain?
well, in my circle of friends, my beard is something that everyone always just liked and commented on.
Yeah.
And so it's always been something that I had trouble grooming and trouble figuring out how to manage, basically, because my beard always grew faster than all my friends. And so I thought, what if I could come up with something that's unique and different? So I was like, maybe I can come up with a beard oil that helps not only manage your beard, but make yourself feel more confident, which is how I came up with the sandalwood scent as well. Because sandalwood is scientifically proven to not only boost your self-esteem, but alter your mood, relax you. So overall, the scent actually makes you feel a little bit more confident on its own.
Wow.
Zoltan, do you have the product there with you?
I do. It's right here.
Cool. So what inspired you to create the design?
Well, first, I was thinking that I just wanted to do a beard brand. So when I created the logo, I actually got a lot of feedback from people who had beards, and they said they liked it. But then as I kept going with my ideas, I figured, why just create a brand for guys who have beards, but for guys who want to be more confident in general. So then I had the idea of introducing some shampoos in the future, a clothing line. And so this logo definitely isn't permanent. I think I want to make something that portrays confidence in general, not just beards. But this was the original blueprint idea for it.
It's a great logo.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now, I feel like everybody at this point, at least every guy I talk to, aspires to create their own company, create their own brand. Some are small brands. Some just want to go into Zazzle and create their own T-shirts. Some want to create the next Microsoft. But what's some advice that you can share with other guys who aspire to create something similar to what you've done to both to give them the confidence to do what they could do, as well as simply to optimize the process so maybe they don't suffer from as many confidence eroding situations as would be expected.
Yeah, of course. I think this doesn't just go for building a business, but in life in general. I think if you have something you want to do, just take action and do it. Even if you don't know how to do it, even if you know you're going to fail, just take action, because the moment you take action, you're going to start learning how to do it. And the more you fail, the more you learn from experience, so that the next time you have an idea that you want to execute on, you know how to do it. And that ultimately builds more confidence. Just taking action, going out of your comfort zone, doing what you think you can't do, but know that if you go out there and do it, you'll be able to do it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's great advice. I started my first company at 19, and I almost look at it as like a real world business school. Like I didn't have to go to B school. I learned everything on the fly, in real time, with real employees and money and everything. And this is my third company now, and anything you don't know, you figure it out. You don't really have a choice. And I think we live in a world where I think Shark Tank is kind of lit the fire for the younger generation, and they all want to do stuff, whether it's a side hustle or a new business or whatever. And I think that's fantastic. I mean, we're a country of entrepreneurs, and it's awesome to see you. I didn't know you were 19 years old or whatever. So it's super cool to see that you've done something, so powerful, so young, and, wish you all the luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I think the fact that none of us knew he was that young. I knew you were younger than many of us, but I think it says a lot about your sense of self-confidence, that it's not about your age, that it's about your confidence, that you have something, you have something that other people want, and you're proceeding forward to really push it.
I love the shampoo idea, by the way. I'd buy it in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of doing the same sense as well. So
yeah, totally.
Cool.
You got a customer. So.
I feel left out here.
Yeah, looking forward.
Yeah, well.
Sujeet.
So can you do a mohawk palm?
Yeah, of course.
That's my COVID hawk. My original intention was that I was going to have it growing out as long as the pandemic lasted, and my wife basically said, "No, we're cutting it." So, sometimes confidence to try things, you have to defer to those who know better. And it is much more manageable now than it would have been if it was just like a weird comb over mohawk. So with that all being said, I think we're kind of just going to wrap things up unless anybody has anything else they want to chat about. Um, make sure if you want to buy Bold View, make sure you go to Amazon. You can follow that link, or you can just go to Amazon.com and search for Bold View beard oil. It's got some great reviews over there, and I know you guys will like it. Let's throw Rick up there again. Endorsed by.
Endorsed by a chubby white guy.
Well, maybe we should have sent Sujeet the bottle instead.
Nice for your scalp.
But anyhow, well, thanks a lot, guys. And for those of you watching, feel free to comment even after the show. I know we'll be watching that comment thread. And other than that, I'm just going to hit end broadcast, and we'll see you guys next time.
Adios.